What is up, everybody? This is John Tofo, and it's time for the greatest games from the year 2000 to 2015. We look at some of the greatest games that had the graphical engines of the last 15 years. What are we looking at right now for the first game in the year 2000 where the Dreamcast had an advantage? It was Resident Evil Code Veronica. Now, the Dreamcast was above its time. It had internet access that no one could afford. Only a select few could get online and play games as far as NFL games go and sports games. But Resident Evil Code Veronica brought a spark that Capcom was on a great rise to success. It's the N64 era of 1080 snowboarding. Graphics got better. 64 bits of range made the gaming world even more entertaining. Then we had Mega Man 64. Capcom was at the pinnacle of its mark, making some of the greatest 3D graphical games of the era through to 2000. We had Ants Extreme Racing. You seen this movie as a kid, sat back, had popcorn and pizza, and wanted to play the game of racing with ants. Another great game of the era. Then around September, Rugrats, The Search for Reptar. The PlayStation was head to head with the N64 in this era, and it had a struggle trying to find the greatest games of that year. Rugrats did not beat out the N64, but it did have a little graphical engineering with PhysX for the PS1. It was one of the greatest games of the year 2001. Now, as far as the Squared Circle, this is one of the greatest wrestling games of all time, in my opinion. It was three-dimensional. It had all the exciting movements and the debut of some of the greatest superstars of that time. This was the greatest WWE game by THQ, in my opinion, of the series in the year 2003. The Godfather. It was one of the greatest games as far as PhysX was going around. That 3D and the PS2 in the year 2005 had some of the greatest graphics during that era. It was fun, it was exciting, and it felt like Grand Theft Auto, except it had a more intense storyline. The Matrix Path of Neo. When PhysX got even better within the first 5 years through the 2000s, it made the PhysX engine get stronger on the PC and made the graphical engine even stretch even better throughout the game. It was the game MAG for the PlayStation 3. It made the PS3 exceed from the Cell engine that they was programming, and they said it was one of the greatest and fastest gameplay, harboring over 256 players of that time. Then you had one of the greatest games of the last 15 years, in my opinion, Murder Soul Suspect. It had a unique genre, and it will be always one of the greatest games of the last 15 years, in my opinion, and always be in my collection here on John 204. Thanks for watching, people, and those are the greatest games from 2000 to 2015. Peace out.